Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back, and today we are going to talk Xbox. Finally, it's time to have the big Xbox conversation that we have. That the gaming world has been, shall we say, mired in the past 3 to 4 days. Let me close the door real quick. My son is sleeping in the other room. He should be fine. He won't hear us. The radio's on, so if he makes a sound, I'll be able to hear him. But we are going to have a nice, good, real conversation regarding the state of Xbox. So that's the plan. We're going to get that started right now. And the question we have to start with, let me double check, make sure everything's working. Everything should be working. But the question we do have to start with is a simple one. That is, what exactly is Xbox's plan going forward? And the irony of that question is, that's the question we've been asking of Xbox for the past 10 years. What is Xbox doing? What is the direction of Xbox? Welcome. Say hello, robot. There you go. Welcome. Say hello, robot. So that is the question. What is Xbox's plan? So for those who don't know, even though I'm sure everybody knows, so just a quick recap. Phil Spencer's gone and Sarah Bond is gone. Phil Spencer being gone, to me, is honestly not a surprise. I've predicted Phil Spencer being gone as of 2 years ago. I said that Phil Spencer was going to be winding down at Xbox, that he would be gone pretty soon. The shock was Sarah Bond being gone. And not only that, that it seems like she was fired. And not only that, it seems like she's getting blamed for things, and people are not particularly liking that. So let's just kind of go to some of those statements on there, because it seems like what people are saying is that the Xbox's new direction is the direct result of Sarah Bond, and not only that, but that apparently a bunch of people at Microsoft didn't like Sarah Bond, which, first of all, let's talk about that idea that a CEO leaves, and then the idea gets suggested that, oh, people didn't like him or people didn't like her and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to say employees not liking their CEO does not matter at all if if the company is making money. Let me just make that clear right now. The fact that people are coming out saying it was Sarah Bond's fault, or that the idea, the Xbox Everywhere idea was her idea. It wasn't her idea. It started long before. But even if it was her idea, employees, quote unquote, not liking her or not liking the plan is completely irrelevant. No one cares if the company is making money. So the fact that people are saying that tells me that the initiative, the Xbox, everything is an Xbox initiative, didn't work, or at least it's not working, or at the very, very least, it's not working it's not reaching the goal, right? And this seems to be the case with Xbox in the past 10 years, that everything they've been doing just isn't quite reaching the goal. And now people may have forgotten, and this is why we're saying, like, blaming even anything on Sarah Bond is kind of a far stretch of the imagination of what's been happening. We're going to get to the new CEO. Don't worry, we're going to get to the new CEO, but we have to backtrack a bit and kind of clear up everything that happened as of 10 years ago. We know the problem started with the big giant E3 that Xbox messed up on, followed by years and years of not capitalizing on the gaming front. As of during COVID era, this is when the plan started. This is when the Xbox, everything is an Xbox plan, actually started. During that time, Phil Spencer and the Xbox team had an idea of just going hardcore and exclusives, right? Giving gamer games, Here's the problem. They didn't have a lot of studios in-house doing that because during the 360 era, they tried to pivot to TV, which then led to really them not having a lot of studios in-house who were making AAA beloved games. Unlike the counterpart, PlayStation, because remember, PlayStation was also having trouble in the PS3 era, and then they pivoted by just making great games, The Last of Us, God of War, yada, yada, yada. And that plan worked for them. Xbox, on the other hand, didn't quite go that way. So when the idea came to focus on games, and this is Phil Spencer's great idea, by the way. This was a really good idea by Phil Spencer to say, let's go back to just creating games. The problem was there were no studios in-house that were doing that. So the plan was, let's just buy them. This is where Bethesda's purchase came from. All of ZeniMax, this is where that came from, which will end in Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard is the end. We're going to get there. When those purchases were made, it became pretty clear that the plan was to go full hardcore exclusive, because we found out that not only were they buying studios, but those studios were making games for PlayStation, and they were canceling those games to focus exclusively on Xbox. Games like Starfield was supposed to be made for PlayStation, and they stopped that to focus exclusively on Xbox. Indiana Jones, that was also being made for PlayStation, and that was stopped to focus on, including a bunch of other games that were being made that Xbox put a kibosh on for the PlayStation release. All those games are now coming out on PlayStation. Again, we'll get to that plan now. But remember, the original plan was to go full hardcore exclusive. And we thought it was working until they made one very critical mistake in buying Activision Blizzard. That was a critical mistake, right? So we thought everything was good, even though they weren't still releasing much games, but they were buying studios that were making games, that had games being made. And then one thing started happening where the games were coming out and they just kind of weren't very good. And it got so bad that I believe it's called that fall game, that vampire game, the one that was being made by that other Bethesda studio, one of those Arcane studios, whatever. Redfall. Yeah, that's how bad it got. Because remember, Xbox needed games. They didn't have studios that were making games. They had studios that were making games. They just weren't coming out early enough, and their plans weren't good. The Halo wasn't good. Gears wasn't good. Perfect Dark was at nowhere to be found. So they started buying studios, but then those studios, or the games that they were making, for some reason or the other, were not good, or they were fully rushed. And by the time they came out, one thing or another, you get the point. Everything was just not going well. The games were not good. The studios you were buying, their games were not good. Their games were not being received well. All the while, PlayStation kept selling more and more and more PlayStation over Xbox. So at this point now, in 2020, between 2020 and 2022, PlayStation is itching towards 3-1 in terms of sales. So this was dire critical moment for Microsoft. They needed to do something, and that something was to buy Activision Blizzard. I do not think this will ever come out, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. I fully believe, 100% believe, that when they bought Activision Blizzard, the plan was to make Call of Duty an exclusive, or at least a timed exclusive, in 2028. That's what I think. That's what I think their plan was. The idea was there was a contract that PlayStation had, that PlayStation had for Call of Duty when they bought Activision Blizzard. That plan was going to run out in about 3 years. I believe the plan after that was for Phil Spencer to make Call of Duty an exclusive, even if it is only a timed exclusive, and release the next Xbox at least 1 year ahead of PlayStation, to try and gain back a lot of the fans that they lost to PlayStation. That's what I believe their plan was. The reason I said that is because The lawsuit started after Jim Ryan tweeted saying that this was essentially what Phil Spencer was trying to do, trying to essentially cut PlayStation out of this deal and keep Call of Duty to themselves. And that's when the Activision Blizzard FTC lawsuit started. That lawsuit made a pathway for a lot of people, right? That lawsuit is also the reason why I started creating content. I just haven't found my, my golden parachute yet, but we're still on the plane. We're still looking for the perfect time to jump with the golden parachute. So I believe that's what the plan was, and that's what kickstarted the Activision Blizzard deal. Here's why I think that. The fact that they give a 10-year deal to everyone specifically for Call of Duty tells me that, one, they couldn't back out of the deal because the deal was pretty much already done. And secondly, they had to make a pivot regarding the exclusivity plan. Because remember, even though they were making all these games exclusive, the plan wasn't working. People weren't buying Xboxes because Starfield wasn't exclusive. Because guess what? This game is just still one good. Redfall was a complete disaster. I don't even know what other games released at that time because Xbox just wasn't releasing any games. Go back and watch any reporting team at that time. The number one conversation we kept saying about Xbox is that the dominoes are coming. The dominoes are going to start falling because we knew they were making a bunch of games. It's just they weren't coming out. They kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And the ones that did come out had a bunch of bugs, bunch of issues, weren't good enough. By the time we reached 2024, PlayStation was pretty much 4-1 ahead of Xbox. And then today, Xbox is dead. Like, Xbox is dead. It is dead. It's not even, okay, fine. Let's say the Xbox is not dead. Here's a question. What is their game plan now? All right, let's switch screens then. What is their game plan now? Because this is the new CEO during an interview, and she's saying some things that sound a little interesting. This is the new CEO. Boom, she looks cool. Like I want to have coffee with her. She looks cool. She looks incredibly smart. Here's the thing, though. The last place she worked in Xbox was their AI division. And if you don't know why that's a big deal, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, he's been pushing very, very hard on AI. We all know every company has, so it's not just them. They're just trying to get ahead of the curve. They don't want to get left behind. And yes, I think companies need to get on AI or else they're going to get left behind. So we know that. We know that Microsoft is pushing hard for AI. Okay. And we also know that this CEO used to work in the AI division. So why would you let go of Sarah Bond, who was the apparent in line, who was the spearhead of this new initiative to put Xbox everywhere? Why would you let go of her to replace her with somebody who prior worked for AI? Well, two reasons. Let's give a fair one. And the fair one is this. Maybe the Xbox Everywhere plan isn't working. My indication that I'm getting is that it's not, because I am the most hardcore of gamers that you will ever find anywhere. I have zero interest in anything Xbox. Nothing. None. Not in a negative, I'm just going to hate way. Just in a, I'm not excited. I just don't care. I got my PC here, right? I got my PS5 down there, and I got my Switch right there. Where's the Xbox? I just don't care. I don't. Games, Xbox games, do I care? No. Forza was fun. Forza was real fun. And the next Forza will probably be fun. So the new CEO is saying we are going to return to Xbox. And I'm sorry, what does that mean? All right, let's check this out. It's been a momentous week for a few weeks for Xbox. On February 20th, Microsoft announced that Microsoft Gaming Division CEO Phil Spencer would be retiring, and Sarah Bond would also be stepping down from her role. Will be stepping down? Okay. It's possible that Sarah Bond is stepping down by choice because she doesn't like the direction that they're trying to go, right? That would seem to be the most logical conclusion. And it could also be that the plan wasn't working, so they do need to pivot. But it does make sense that Sarah Bond left because she's not in line with whatever their new vision is. But if their new vision is to return back to Xbox, why would Sarah Bond not be in line with that? Okay, two possibilities, I'm gonna guess. One, Xbox is being for real. They are going back to exclusives. They are for real, for real. They are, as of next year, they are going to announce we are going full on exclusives. We don't care no more. We are here to fight. This is a dog fight. PlayStation, Sony, Valve. If you want a dog fight, we'll give you a dog fight. We are going full exclusive. We're going back to consoles, baby. The next console is coming out the same year, same week as PlayStation. And guess what? We're gonna give you at least 5 exclusive games. That'll be balls to the walls right there. Do I want them to do that? No, I don't want Xbox to do that. People say that competition in the gaming space is good. Yeah, it is good. But there's also competition that's not good. Oversaturated competition is not good. Innovation is good. Nintendo innovates. But that's the thing. Xbox doesn't innovate in the gaming space. They've never innovated in the gaming space. All they've ever done is just provide a secondary box as an option for people who don't want to go PlayStation, right? That is literally what Xbox has always done. Here's another box in case you don't want to go PlayStation, because they were never competing with Nintendo, right? It was always, if you don't like PlayStation, if you don't like Sony, if you like America, buy an Xbox. And then people were like, no, we just like games. Good ones, preferably. And then Xbox was not able to maintain its status. So if you're returning to Xbox, what are you returning to? So that's number one option. They're returning to full-on exclusive Xbox. And it's possible that's the reason why Sarah Bond left, because she's like, no, I don't want to do that. I like this everywhere thing, because we've been preaching this for the past 4 years now. Xbox everywhere, gaming everywhere. If you are a person, you will get games. We will give it to you. And now Satya Nadella is like, no, let's go full-on exclusive. Woo, yeah, I doubt that. But if that's what it is, it's possible that's why Sarah Bond left. The other reason, though, is that this is about to be an AI push from Xbox. Now, there's some clues to suggest that, because one of the first things that the CEO said is that they would, quote unquote, not be making AI slop. Okay, well, it's one of those, you don't need to tell me, because the moment you tell me, then I'm like, if your goal is to make good games, you don't need to tell me that you're not gonna make AI slop, because now you got me a little bit worried. It's not like AI wants to make slop. It's that people like to use AI to make slop. So are you suggesting that going forward, that I'm gonna appear and reappear anytime I want? Yeah. Are you suggesting that going forward, let me turn that back on. Perfect. Okay, this is better. Okay. Are you suggesting that going forward, AI will be implemented heavily in Xbox, but we're going to ensure that it is good quality video, AAA level videos? Again, here's the thing. And I am as fair as they come on this topic, because I would like to remind people of so many things that people will like to forget, right? So I keep adjusting my camera because I am a one-man show. And as a one-man show, I got to make sure I give you guys a show. Yay. Elon Musk is promising that he can make games faster with AI, right? Tencent is heavily investing in using AI to make games. Other people are doing it. So again, Microsoft is not abnormal here. They're not weird. They're not bad. They're just trying to keep up with what's happening in the world. I, for one, I'm not against any of the AI push. People use AI to make slop. People can use AI to make good stuff, right? So I think all of that is true. And game developers have been telling us for a really long time that making games, it costs a lot of money, that we need some way to mitigate some of that cost. And AI is the answer. Because I do like to remind people, the most expensive part of any studio are people, right? The problem is there's only so much a person can do, right? And you can't also just necessarily hire more people, because the more people you hire, you need money to come from somewhere. So it's either you start giving people pay cuts, which you can't do because they'll complain about that, or you implement crunch, which also we don't like because the industry also complains about that. So you need some other way to produce faster before you run out of money. See what I'm saying? For any project, you can only spend so much amount of money. And most of that, the vast majority of that is going to people, human beings. Okay. We need a way to help those human beings do the thing faster. No, the answer is not to hire more people, because we're just going to have to spend more money. Because remember, people are the most expensive part of a company. So just hiring more people will just do what? Make costs go up. So costs cannot go up, but production needs to rise. Okay. AI is the way to mitigate that, right? Because AI are systems built in place to make something easier. Dishwashers were made to make the process of washing dishes easier. Why? Probably because wives were going nuts with all the dishes they had to wash, and husbands were going nuts about their wives complaining about all the dishes they had to wash, and somebody said, let me just make an automatic way to do that. Okay, you gotta understand that game developers also have some of those same things. I'm a content creator. There's so many aspects of what I do that is just frustrating by the nature of just what it is. Like, if I could have a system that allows me to prompt some things, in content creation, you can't do it that well, because if you do, it's not going to look that good. But if I am able to just kind of reduce the amount of time that I have to make a video, it means that I don't have to pay somebody money that I don't have to do that. That's really what that means. So again, everyone's doing it because, yes, it is necessary to be done. Okay. So is that what Xbox is saying? Because, I could see Sarah Bond not being okay with that either, right? Yeah. So the question is, which way is Xbox going? And the full answer is we don't actually know yet. We don't know because Xbox hasn't really... Okay, so the new CEO pretty much said, not even pretty much, I think it was verbatim. I think she just said, for now, the plan is the plan till it's not the plan. Actually, that is actually her quote. The plan is the plan till it's not the plan. So what exactly is the plan that is now, that is the plan? It's still the Xbox everywhere, which means we're third party now. We're making games, we're going to put them everywhere. Is the new Xbox coming? When Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond were in charge, and you can confirm with anybody who knows me, I said this, that yes, Xbox is announced a new Xbox, but that Xbox is going to get canceled. Here's what I think. I still think that Xbox is going to get canceled because the other third possibility is Phil Spencer leaving and Sarah Bond retiring was always the plan, because that's the best way to mitigate the hell that was coming if it turns out that Xbox is just done. Okay, and now we've arrived because many people in the industry are saying it. Xbox is just done. What does that mean? Couple things. It could mean a name change, a rebranding of Xbox. They'll roll it into Microsoft. There's already ways to justify that. Roll it into Microsoft, and it just becomes Microsoft Gaming, and Xbox effectively takes a bow, right? The second is to cancel whatever console they're working on, because guess what? Even their handheld didn't do that well. So I really do not know of a good plan where Xbox will simply just come back and make another console and it's successful. I don't see how they're going to. So maybe they're not. Maybe that's just the plan. The plan is to just say a year from now, this is the plan. There's no more Xbox consoles. We have become the new Sega. We're just going to release games everywhere. Right? Because if it's about profit, then that's what you go with. The console itself, consoles have never been profitable for any company. Consoles are just a brand, which means that, yeah, branding can die. The PlayStation branding is eventually going to die. It's just going to survive longer than the Xbox branding, most likely. PlayStation as a console maker is also going to die. Probably in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to become just a digital something. I don't know. Here's the thing on that, though. If we're being for real, I do think there is a good space to say that technically consoles will always be around, because what is a console? A console is just a small PC. What is a PC? A PC is just a box that holds all of the things that your PC needs to do. And as long as it's physical aspects of gaming, there will always be some kind of box to case that in. I mean, the only way boxes won't exist is if you go full digital, but even then a box exists. It's just somewhere far away, right? There's always going to be the physical element about gaming. So again, is Xbox trying to return to that physical element of gaming? Because I don't think they are. That's why I said I think the plan for the next Xbox is done. I think it's going to get canceled. I don't see them wanting to return to, let's make a box at a loss and then hope that we hit some kind of lightning and people prefer us over PlayStation and everything they already got going. I don't see that happening, right? Because when you think back at Xbox, what actually made Xbox successful was the fact that Halo was a game that came out with the console. And now, can you replicate that? No, you can't. No. Right now, there are no gaming company who will make a box that is going to give us a new IP that will lead to that box out selling crazy because of that new IP. I don't see that happening. That's a bold claim. So let me analyze that. That's a bold claim. The closest I can think of, let's say Valve releases their console with Half-Life 3. Yeah. Okay. That's not a new IP. But if they release Half-Life, their console with Half-Life 3 and say, also release it with, say, Portal 2, 3. Is there 2 Portal? Yeah, there's Portal 1, Portal 2, right? There's Portal 1, Portal 2, Portal 3. Actually, there's Portal 1, Portal 2, and then there's another Portal something, just like Half-Life. So let's say they released their console with straight up Portal 3 and Half-Life 3. Yeah, that would sell a lot. But it still wouldn't sell enough to overtake PlayStation. Right? And then people are saying that, well, the new race is PC. But I'm like, I don't know, because again, what is a console? A console is a dedicated PC. It's a personal computing unit dedicated to gaming. A console is a PC. A PC is a console. The difference is consoles are just a lot cheaper because consoles were made to do one specific things, and PCs aren't really meant for that. And as we're finding out with other chip shortages, no one cares about PC and gaming. Yeah, no one cares about PC and gaming. PC and gaming was always the dream that was never the dream, because people think that PC is made for gaming, and it's like, no, PC is made for making money, man. Whatever makes money is what PC is going to go for. Guess what? AI is making money. That's what PC is going. Consoles are games. They're only for games. They will always make money because they're only for games. And that's why PlayStation is pulling out of PC, as the reports are suggesting. Let's pull that report up. Let's pull this report up. So Sony I need a new mouse. I need a new keyboard. Stepping away from PC. Yeah, so people are suggesting that PC ports. It's not some speculation, but sometimes topics come up on the show before. Yeah, so this is the idea. PlayStation is pulling. We don't really know what this is going to mean, but let's just speculate as wildly as we can and suggest that this means that PlayStation is going to be pulling out of PC ports. Okay. Why would they be doing that? Give you time to think. Okay, here's an idea. What about PC's expensive? Chips are expensive. They're not gonna get cheaper. Not for at least 10 years. This chip issue is not going away. Not for at least another 10 years. Which means for the next 10 solid years, PCs will never prioritize gaming. Which means we're about to see an increase in console sales. With the PS6 coming in, it's 20. I think the PS6 is going to come in like 2029. I think the original plan for the PS6 was 2030. And I think Xbox, when they bought Activision Blizzard, their plan was to release their console a year before whenever PlayStation releases their console, because that's what happened with the 360 era. That's why the 360 sold really well. It came a year before, almost a year before the PS3, and it was cheaper than the PS3. Okay? Yeah. So 2029, 2030. Think about it. If you're Sony, why you keep chasing PC ports when you can just be the answer for gamers? Okay, real question. Real question. For the vast majority of gamers, what does PlayStation need to have? What does PlayStation as a console need to have for the vast majority of gamers to effectively be a PC? Keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse integration. It's already there, but it just sucks. Keyboard and mouse integration. Really? That wouldn't be all? I promise you that will be all. I promise you that will be all that was needed. You have to advertise a crap out of that. They'll let people know, hey, keyboard, mouse. Yeah, your PlayStation 6 does it. I wouldn't even be surprised if you give a good update for that for PS5. Again, why has there not been a really good keyboard and mouse integration? I don't know, but PlayStation just released a keyboard and mouse for the PS5. The PS5 can do 60 standard on any game. Most of the games that we're going to be playing on PC, most of those games are the same games everybody plays on their console. The only reason I have a PC is because I like keyboard and mouse for shooters. That's it. If I had a good PC integration, keyboard and mouse integration that is equivalent to PC, without me having to do any work, I don't want to do I don't want to do anything. I just want it to work. I don't want to download some software, some blah blah blah. No, just give me straight up. I would buy every single game on PlayStation. I would buy every single game on PlayStation if I could get a keyboard and mouse integration that is one-to-one to a PC. no software, no do this. A simple update, boom, keyboard and mouse, you plug it in, it's working. I play Valorant, but I won't play Valorant on console. If you give me Valorant on console with keyboard and mouse equivalent to PC, and give me a solid 100 FPS, 100 Valorant, you could do it. Many games. This is not just a Valorant thing. Many games can do it. PlayStation 5 Pro update, full integration, keyboard and mouse, and let's test some games out. Again, the future can be PC because by nature of PC, it's too expensive to be the future. It's like saying Bugatti is a future of driving. No, it's not. What? Actually, I don't want a Bugatti. Actually, I don't really actually want an expensive car. I'm not a car head. I have a friend who's a car head. And I trust him on anything vehicle. I don't trust I love driving. I don't drive fast. I drive for a living. Love driving. I live in cars. My whole life is in cars. I can tell you my entire story through what cars I've driven. But I don't go fast. Why? I want to enjoy the scenery. Let's get back on track. So that's why I think that's why PlayStation is pulling away from PC. I don't think PC has been as profitable for them as people think that it has. Again, PC is just a more expensive console. So I don't think it's that profitable for them. I think just keeping sticking on console is the best way to go. So, what if the PS6 just comes with keyboard and mouse integration? I'm sorry. What if it does? I'm talking one-to-one integration. By now, pretty much every keyboard and mouse is what? Bluetooth now? Okay. Bluetooth connection through your PS5 Pro, PS6. I'm telling you right now, that's perfection. That would be perfection. Most people would have no reason to go spend $1,500 on a PC, right? So I think that's why. At least that's my speculation. I could be wrong on that, but no, I think that's my speculation. I think it's just not that profitable. Like, there's no reason for it. Just focus on all the units that PlayStation already has in the marketplace. PlayStation has, like, right now, PlayStation is probably over. I predicted that by the next earning calls, they're going to be at around 120 million unit. There is no game that they can release that 120 million people are going to buy, right? Yeah, just keep focusing on the 12 to 15 million copies sold. The biggest problem with PlayStation has always been the fact that they don't have what Nintendo has, where Nintendo releases Mario Kart and that thing just sells 80 million copies without blinking. That's what PlayStation doesn't have. It's not PC. They don't have the Mario. You release a Mario game, the entire world goes nuts. That's what they don't have. They don't have Pokemon. It's not they don't have PC. PC, please. PC Master Race. No. Keyboard and mouse integration for consoles. That's it. That's all you need. Why is it not available yet? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be playing Marathon on when it comes out on PC. Why? Because of keyboard and mouse. It has nothing to do with my PC. Most of the time, my PC doesn't even run well. I have to restart in the middle of playing games. I don't want that headache. So that's why I think PlayStation is focusing less on PC ports. Guess what? It costs money to do that. Again, you have 120 million people who have a PS5. Focus on that. Stop spending money giving your games to PC players. They don't need that. They have a PS5. Just get them to buy the game on PS5, not the PC. So that's why. So if we continue down that track, we also do need to realize that part of the reason why Xbox's everything is an Xbox plan isn't working is because it doesn't matter if everything is an Xbox. What does that have to do with anything? Is there an Xbox? Is it good? Xbox. There's an Xbox. It's not good. Okay, fine. We don't care then. What about your games? Can we get those where we at? Perfect. That's what Xbox wants to give people. Yeah, get our games where you're at. Okay. The whole advertising, the whole Xbox is everywhere. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, it's weird because, and they started showing fridge. Xbox is in your fridge. This is like, what are you doing? Like, games are games. So again, is Xbox still a gaming company, or is Xbox about to not be a gaming company? Which a lot of people are saying that Xbox is about to not be a gaming company. So we're going to end this talk there. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening. Much grace to you. I might be back later with some Resident Evil gameplay, but for now, peace out.